I'm LP Master 6 and welcome to my 97th Let's Play, Super Mario 64, which is also the first game I ever owned. I have been looking forward to making this Let's Play for at least 12 years, but be glad I didn't make it 12 years ago, which is half my life ago. That feels really weird. But man, my voice was obnoxious back then, and I wasn't nearly as good at this as I am now, if you'd even consider me good now, which, not to toot my own horn, but I think I am. Oh, I want to restart already. Oh, but I'm not going to. This game, I may be younger than this game by 2 years, but it has a special place in my heart because my sisters owned it, and they had a Nintendo 64, and this was pretty much all they ever played on it, and eventually my parents took it from my sisters and gave it to me. Which, now that I think about it, I feel kind of badly about it. Okay, Mario. AKA Charles Martinet, Mario's new permanent voice actor, replacing, well, nobody in English except for the various cartoon actors, but in my last Let's Play, BS Super Mario Bros. 2, aka BS Super Mario USA, we were introduced to Mario's Satellaview actor who also voiced him in various anime and commercials, exclusively in Japan, Toru Furuya. Now, he sticks around for the Satellaview stuff, but Charles Martinet takes over internationally from here on out, up until the Super Mario Bros. Movie, pretty much, which was this year, 2023, that I'm recording this. But anyway, we don't have to deal with any of this stuff because I already erased all the data because I was obsessed with doing that as a kid. My sisters used to get really mad at me because I would erase all their save data for no reason in every game they had. I don't know why I had to do that. I was special. But I had a save file, just one, this morning, the first time I booted up this cartridge since at least 2016. And it was almost complete, but I erased it anyway. One thing we can do is choose between stereo, mono, and headset sound. I don't know what the difference between mono and stereo is. I mean, stereo and headset. Why would anybody choose mono unless you only have one headphone and the other one's broken? But we're just going to go with the default stereo and finally get into it. A new file.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
This is the game that popularized her name in the West as being Princess Peach Toadstool. It was always Peach in Japan, and it's always been Princess Toadstool over here until now consistently. She was, of course, if you've seen my Yoshi's Safari Let's Play from 1993, well, the game, not the Let's Play, she was called Peach in that. The whoosh sound, just then, is not in the Japanese version of the game, making this version of the game, the international version, far superior. There we are in our fully modeled 3D glory. Ciao! You've reached Princess Toadstool's castle via a warp pipe. Using the controller is a piece of cake. Press A to jump and B to attack. Press B to read signs, too. Use the control stick in the center of the controller to move Mario around. Now, head for the castle. I am going to take my sweet time here because I just want people to appreciate the, smaller things about the game. Like, nobody ever seems to just sit back and relax and explore little areas. Everybody just blazes through the game, and I'm not like that. I like to show small details and mountains of text, because that's just how I do it. Princess Toadstool's castle, aka Princess Peach's castle, or Peach's castle as it's now commonly referred to, but the game's manual calls it Mushroom Castle, just like it was called in Mario RPG, is just ahead. Press A to jump, Z to crouch, and B to punch, read a sign, or grab something. Press B again to throw something you're holding. They have to really go heavy on the tutorials because this is the first Nintendo 64 game. I mean, this is the first free-roaming 3D game in existence. So nobody really knew how to control it. And this controller is vastly different. I am playing this on an actual Nintendo 64 controller, on my childhood cartridge, and I'm playing it on a CRT TV, which is the way to make it look the best as far as the original version goes. Okay, I don't have to read this. We can get a style and dismount, sure. but I want you to listen to the bird ambience, because that's what really sold the game for me as a kid. Just something about it. It's not a song. It's just real. That's what you hear in real life. And for some reason, that was just amazing to me and immersing me in the world when I was very, very young. It just felt like I was, I don't know, something about the 3D environment, I guess. Even though I generally prefer 2D as far as games go. Because this isn't the first game I ever played. Super Mario World was the first game I ever played on my aunt's copy. Swimming lessons! Tap A to do the breaststroke. If you time the taps right, you'll swim fast. Press and hold A to do a slow, steady flutter kick. Press up on the control stick to dive and pull back on the stick to head for the surface. To jump out of the water, hold down on the control stick, then press A. Easy as pie, right? But remember, Mario can't breathe underwater. Return to the surface for air when the power meter runs low. And one last thing, you can't open doors that are underwater. There's only one underwater door in the whole game, I'm pretty sure. But the swimming controls, I can't really explain them better than that sign can. They're extra complicated. I try to combine complicated and convoluted. That's a little ironic. Because Miyamoto got into swimming during the game's development, and anytime Miyamoto gets a new hobby, he always inserts it, no matter how irrelevant, into the game he's playing. Or developing at the moment. Sorry, I was enamored with the swimming controls from 1996. But here's that underwater door I promised. Oh, we can't go in. But I love that the castle has a moat now. This design is so much better than the design in Mario RPG. I mean, that design was fine, but this is 3D! And more fitting for the characters in the world. The graphics in this game are so simple and clean for being the first 3D game. They're stylized as I think Miyamoto said, a 3D interactive cartoon. And that is perfect. That's exactly what it looks like. So yes, everything is horribly dated, and I know this is blasphemous, but I greatly, vastly cannot understate this. Man, that looks like it hurt. Prefer Super Mario 64 DS as the ultimate version of this game, hands down. I forgot this sign was even here. Hold Z to crouch and slide down a slope, or press Z while in the air to pound the ground. If you start crouch, then jump, you'll do a backward somersault. Got that? Crouch and then jump to do a long jump, or crouch and walk to... Never mind. That's right, coming over from Yoshi's Island and Wario Land to an extent. Pounding the ground, aka hip drop, aka ground pound. One of the best moves in Mario history. Here's the long jump. Backward somersault. One of the most useful moves. The side somersault. And it said press Z and walk to never mind. Well, that's just crawling. That really doesn't have much of a use here. Unless you're really trying to sneak up on an enemy. What else do we have? Well, we have more as time goes on. Except, this I will probably never use again. This is the sweep kick. It was put in the game, and they intended to design enemies that were really short. They were perfect for the sweep kick, but they never did, so it's basically useless. You can kill enemies with it, but there's no point. I don't want to leave the castle grounds. It's so peaceful. Also, a lot of Mario's arsenal and his acrobatic tendencies come from 1994's Game Boy Donkey Kong remake, which I've also played on the channel. And I find that interesting because development for this game started not long after development on that game ended. That little tune is also not in the Japanese version. Good afternoon! The Lakitu brothers here, reporting live from just outside the princess's castle. Mario has just arrived on the scene and will be filming the action live as he enters the castle and pursues the missing Power Stars. As seasoned cameramen, we'll be shooting from the recommended angle, but you can change the camera angle by pressing the C buttons. If we can't adjust the view any further, we'll buzz. To take a look at the surroundings, stop and press C up. Press A to resume play. Switch camera modes with the R button. Signs along the way will review these instructions. For now, reporting live, this has been the Lakitu brothers. Missing Power Stars? What is he talking about? But This is the first free roaming 3D camera, and we can control it. The camera in this game sucks. Like, the game's ugly. It doesn't control that well, and the camera sucks. It's fine for its time because it's the first of its kind. It's the first collectathon platformer. And there's a lot of stuff that doesn't have much utility, which is kind of neat, like this zoomed out angle, which is nice. Sort of a pseudo first-person mode. And that mural is actually really nice. Again, I recommend playing this on a CRT on the original console, or at least with the original controller. Nintendo can't even emulate this game well, so... And not that it matters that much. You still get a decent experience any other way you play the original. Again, I recommend the DS version, but I'm going to shut up about that now because I don't want you to click off the video. But the original version isn't obsolete. It isn't, you know, useless. It has its pros over the DS version that make it still worth playing. Oh, also R. I can't think of an instance where this is ever useful, but I mean, I'm glad it's there because I'd rather have something than not have it, right? Welcome. No one's home. Now scram and don't come back. Wahaha. I wonder whose voice that was. Because I have no idea. Hey, Toad. Toad, I'm not trying to punch you. Am I glad to see you? The princess and I and, well, everybody. We're all trapped inside the castle walls. Inside the castle's walls is the name of this song. Bowser has stolen the castle's stars and he's using their power to create his own world in the paintings and walls. Please recover the power stars. As you find them, you can use their power to open the doors that Bowser has sealed. There are 4 rooms on the first floor. Start in the one with the painting of Bob-Omb inside. It's the only room that Bowser hasn't sealed. When you collect 8 power stars, you'll be able to open the door with the big star. The princess must be inside. Well, there is the door with the big star. Up there. Also, Toad is faded away. This is because he's actually inside the castle walls. So the song has an extra meaning. Like, according to the manual and the player's guide especially, the Toads are all going to somehow become part of the Koopa Troop, Bowser's army, by being in the walls for too long. I don't know. And the player's guide is actually presented as a news article that has theories on why Bowser is doing this. But we'll get into that in a minute. For now, actually, I guess I could show you this, because I'm not going to be able to show you this in a minute. Scary again. But yeah, this is one of the few doors we can go in right now. We'll worry about the rest later. We'll explore the castle in due time, because it's our hub world. The castle grounds are pretty much useless, so I wanted to just go ahead and explore those and run around and enjoy them. So, sorry I'm not blazing through the game like most people. It's just, that's not how I want to do it. You know, the game was meant to be enjoyed. Not that you can't enjoy blazing through a game, because that's fun in its own right. Okay, triple jump, yeah, long jump. We went over that in wall kick. We will demonstrate plenty in the future. Practice, practice, practice. You don't stand a chance without them. This is the most important sideboard in the game, and it's so easy to miss. You can return to the castle's main hall at any time from the painting worlds where the enemies live. Just stop, stand still, press start to pause the game, then select exit course. You don't have to collect all power stars in one course before going on to the next. Return later when you're more experienced to pick up difficult ones. Whenever you find a star, a hint for finding the next one will appear on the course's start screen. You can, however, collect any of the remaining stars next. You don't have to recover the one described by the hint. That's only mostly true. You can't collect any star from any listed star. You'll see what we mean as we go on. What we mean, what I mean. But, oh, this song is so good. So let's stand here for just a second. That sign describes the gameplay pretty well. It is not linear like every other game. Our goal is not 96 exits like in Mario World or however many exits were in Mario Land 2 for completion. Our goal is to get all the power stars, and that's also how to beat the game. We have to get a certain amount of power stars that went missing. Bowser stole them, and the plot, it doesn't really matter that much. I enjoy it, but basically, yet again, we have to save Peach, but this time our hub world is actually Peach's castle. We're not traveling anywhere to fight Bowser, but we are going to go in the painting worlds. Star 1, Big Bob-Omb on the summit. Course 1, Bob-Omb Battlefield. Wow, you're smack in the middle of the battlefield. You'll find the power stars that Bowser stole inside the painting worlds. First, talk to the Bob-Omb buddy. Press B to talk. He'll certainly help you out, and so will his comrades in other areas. That was changed to friends in Europe instead of comrades. To read signs, stop, face them, and press B. Press A or B to scroll ahead. You can talk to some other characters by facing them and pressing B. That's right, there's NPCs in this game. I mean, they were in Mario RPG, but this is a mainline platformer. Watch out! If you wander around here, you're liable to be plastered by a water bomb, not a Bob-Omb. Those enemy Bob-Ombs love to fight, and they're always finding ways to attack. This meadow has become a battlefield ever since the big Bob-Omb got his paws on the power star. Can you recover the star for us? Cross the bridge and go left up the path to find the big Bob-Omb. Please come back to see me after you've retrieved the power star. You got it, buddy. Because they're called Bob-Omb buddies. The red ones are never your enemies. They're always good guys. Hey, you! It's dangerous ahead, so listen up. Take my advice. Cross the 2 bridges ahead, then watch for falling water bombs. The big Bob-Omb at the top of the mountain is very powerful. Don't let him grab you. We're Bob-Omb buddies, and we're on your side. You can talk to us whenever you'd like to. Thanks, buddy. I want your cannon. Alright, here we go. This is going to tell us we can punch and kick with B. We can kick in the air. We can do a punch-in combo, which Mario always kicks on the 3rd one, or we could just jump and kick that way. I mean, these have a lot of utility, and punching and kicking really never comes back. At least not in a platforming game. Yeah, to read a sign, talk, please recover the stars that Bowser stole in this course. There's punching. Let's demonstrate kicking. The fact it didn't have coins in it was a coincidence. That box never has coins in it. Nothing to do with the kicking. We can't triple jump while we're holding something. But we can throw stuff, and it sounds so satisfying. There are special caps in the red, green, and blue blocks. Step on the switches in the hidden courses to activate the cap blocks. Just like Mario World. Unused in the game's code is one for a yellow switch and a thinned out yellow block, I believe. But yellow exclamation mark blocks replace question mark blocks essentially in this game. They're not as common as question mark blocks normally are in 2D games, but they're still worth noting. Also, here's a Goomba, classic. The thing about jumping is it's way harder to see where you're going to land in 3D, which is why you need to watch your shadow. Very important but understated element of 3D games. Therefore, yeah, we already know that. The cameras. We went over that plenty. I love how they contextualize the camera by having an actual cameraman behind you. So when you're using the C buttons to change the camera, you're playing as one of the Lakitu bros. I love that. Here's a Bob-Omb. Their sprites are not actually polygons. They're just little spheres, which is neat. There's unused spheres for them in the game's code. Coins we can talk about. Red coins we'll get into in a minute when a sign tells us what they do. But regular coins are now a lighter yellow color. And they have a star insignia on them. Earlier in development, they had their more orangish color and they had the rectangular slit in them. Worth noting, I guess. Beware of Chain Chomp! Extreme danger! Get close and press C up for a better look. Scary, huh? See the red coin on top of the stake? When you collect 8 of them, a power star will appear in the meadow across the bridge. Every one of the main courses in the game has 8 red coins, and that's one of the star missions. There's 6 in each world, level, course, whatever you want to call it. The Chain Chomp's bark sound is entirely different in Japan and in the Wii, and I think Wii U Virtual Console releases. His tongue is purple. That's like the only difference aside from the fact the game is technically darker. Because that's how all Wii and NES games are. Or N64 and NES games are on Virtual Console. This is the same sign that we saw next to the bridge outside with the long jump telling us how to crawl and all that. So we don't have to deal with that right now. I'm not going to fully explore the worlds right now because we're going to explore them all in great detail in a few minutes. Throughout the course of, getting all the stars. We can do this over here and spawn a 1-up mushroom. They still exist. But in case you haven't noticed, Mario has a power meter. If we take a hit, you know, it removes a slice of the pie of our health bar, essentially. Like, for instance, let's take a hit. There we go. Coins no longer give us a 1-up whenever we get 100 coins. Well, sort of. Not inside a course, at least. But they do replenish our health. And I guess, I don't think this is a spoiler, really. Right? It doesn't matter. You don't care. You probably already know this. If you get 100 coins in any of the main courses in the game, you get a star for it. So, in every course, you have to get 100 coins to get the 7th star. So there's 7 stars in each course. Sorry, I don't know why I'm stuttering all over my words all of a sudden. We've been pretty good up to this point. And I'm not redoing this again. I had over an hour and 6 minutes of... No, I'm sorry. 2 hours and 15 minutes of failed takes of this. No visitors allowed by decree of the Big Bob-Omb. I shall never surrender my stars, for they hold the power of the castle in their glow. They were a gift from Bowser, the Koopa King himself, and they lie well hidden within my realm. Not a whisper of their whereabouts shall leave my lips. Oh, alright, perhaps one hint. Hey, heed the star names at the beginning of the course. The Big Bob-Omb. Some cannonballs to dodge that are pretty much the same spheres that are in Bob-Ombs, just with the little light reflection off of them, which is a nice touch. Alright, we'll avoid you. Nope, don't want to punch the sign. You can grab onto the edge of a cliff or ledge with your fingertips and hang down from it. Oh, no, oops. Okay, well, that's all self-explanatory stuff, right? We'll figure it out as we go along. It's hard to say what's self-explanatory and what's not, because this game was, again, the first of its kind. Lauded by many critics and many people, even to this day, as the best game of all time. But especially so when it came out. I love it. It's not my favorite Mario game or even 3D Mario game. Like I said, I generally prefer 2D, but I still love this. It's fantastic stuff. This is a great game. Can't be understated how important and just how fun it even still is. Like, just moving Mario around is fun, and that is the mark of a good game. And it really shows that the developers, before anything else, before any designs for the courses or levels or missions or whatever, the gameplay, they focused on exactly how Mario would move. So the whole game is catered to his movements and abilities. And illustrations. That was another one of the first things they worked on. One of the lead artists of the game was Yoshiaki Koizumi, before I forget to say that. Anyway, sorry, I have a bad habit of sitting on the same exact spot for a long time while I talk. I'm the Big Bob-Omb, Lord of all blasting matter, King of kabooms the world over. How dare you scale my mountain? By what right do you set foot on my imperial mountaintop? You may have eluded my guards, but you'll never escape my grasp, and you'll never take away my power star. I hereby challenge you, Mario. If you want the star I hold, you must prove yourself in battle. Can you pick me up from the back and hurl me to this royal turf? I think that you cannot. This song is called Stage Boss. That's right, the very first anything in the game has a boss battle in it, which is very strange for Mario standards. It always bothered me that he's called Big Bob-Omb and not King Bob-Omb. Because, you know, he has the crown, but whatever, it doesn't matter. You have to fool him by going around him a bit. If you just try to circle around him too well, then he does this nonsense where he just follows your movements perfectly. So you want to go out. Geez, sometimes, like, he doesn't notice you at all, and other times he notices you perfectly. So it's really hard to telegraph, you know. See, I don't understand. I've never understood this fight. But there's no more climactic way, because of course he takes 3 hits because Miyamoto developed this game. Or just Nintendo in general. So here we go. He's not dead! You must fight with honor. It is against the royal rules to throw the king out of the ring. I like how it doesn't do damage to him, even though it would, you know, should technically do more damage. Is this like some sort of sumo match? Whoa, what? Can it be that a pipsqueak like you has defused the Bob-Omb King? You might be fast enough to ground me, but you'll have to pick up the pace if you want to take King Bowser by the tail. Methinks my troops can learn a lesson from you. Here is your star, as I promised, Mario. If you want to see me again, select this star from the menu. For now, farewell. And he dies. And I'd like to just say that he was the same exact thing as the cannonballs down below, but with eyes, mustache, crown, and limbs. And I love that. Anyway, it's time for our first Power Star. Oh, the classic V for victory. The high score refers to the coin count. No, even if we just got one coin, it still would have said high score. We have the option to save. This is how you save in the game. You can't just save at any time. You have to get a star. But it can be a star you already collected. And there's plenty that are just ridiculously short and easy to get. But I don't know why you would need to save and quit, like, urgently without having already gotten a star, because that's the only thing you would really need to save anyway. That's really the only collectible in this game. You've recovered one of the stolen Power Stars! Now you can open some of the sealed doors in the castle. Try the princess's room on the second floor and the room with the painting of Womb's fortress, like we're supposed to already know what that is, on floor 1. Bowser's troops are still gaining power, so you can't give up. Save us, Mario! Keep searching for stars! It's never clear whether that's Toad's talking to you or Peach herself, who is voiced in the opening in every version except Japan, and she is voiced by one of the localization directors, Leslie Swan. But yeah, the game has really opened up for us already, because we can go to any of the 3 courses. It said 2 more opened up. I'm going to go ahead and stick with this one, though, because I'd be crazy not to, you know? I want to learn the world fully. The level, not the world. I mean, technically, I don't know. Do I want to split the video? I think I do. I hope you enjoyed part 1. Sorry we didn't get much done in the 27 minutes, but you know what? I had fun showing off and goofing around, and that's what games are all about, having fun. So I'm LP Master 6, and I will see you in part 2.